99.9% of people never actually get over a breakup. Instead, what they do is create a mechanism, a system in their head that they can follow step by step so that they can avoid all of the work that it takes to transcend the emotions that inevitably come from splitting up with someone that you loved with all of your heart. I know this because in my life, it took me years to get over breakups. Not because I didn't change my life, because I didn't work harder, because I didn't make more money, because I didn't pursue my passion, but because I didn't do the work required to transcend the emotional state I was left in after being broken up with. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but many, many times. Breakups that I initiated, breakups that were initiated upon me, breakups that were amicable on both sides. 99.9% of people never get over heartbreak because it's far easier to create a mechanism that you can follow in your head every single time something doesn't work out. Every single time a relationship goes awry. I see this as I talk with woman after woman, guy after guy, person after person, details their relationship history to me, and there's a common theme. It's that whenever a relationship fails, they have a game plan. They have a script that they go to every single time. For guys, it's usually, I'm just going to work harder. I'm just going to pick up a side hustle. I'm going to pick up more hours at work, or I'm going to hang out with the guys. I'm going to drink. I'm going to the bar. Whatever it is, they have that game plan. And then for women, it's usually, I'm going to go to the club. I'm going to pop bottles. I'm going to get a section. I'm going to hit on guys. I'm going to start posting on Instagram. I'm going to get in shape. That's what I usually see. Now, of course, there are other game plans that both men and women construct, but that's what I've seen. Nonetheless, they are game plans. They are scripts. They are code that both females and males follow like clockwork without even thinking after a relationship fails. And thus, they never get to the roots of the emotions that spring up like an oasis, spring up like water out of a well that's rushing to the surface after splitting up with somebody. And thus, they never actually get over the relationship at all. Instead, they numb themselves to it. And you can see this. Women on IG in particular are a really good example. A woman breaks up with her first boyfriend. She's heartbroken. She's distressed. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She cries. She writes in a notebook or a diary. She vents to her friends, to her mother, to her aunts, to her grandmother, whoever's in her life. It's tough. You could say the same thing for guys, but let's just use women as an example because it's very easy to see. Guys, we like to close ourselves off. It's much harder to see this in person. So let's just use this example. The woman is very distraught after the first breakup. But then she picks herself up and she's ready to get back out there again. And she finds another guy and that doesn't go so well. And it's painful, but it's not quite as painful. It's not quite as difficult. And then the third guy, even less so. And then the fourth guy, even less so. And then the fifth guy, even less so. Until the point comes where she doesn't feel anything. And that's because she never felt anything to begin with. She never opened herself up at the beginning of the relationship at all. So if she never opened herself up at the beginning of the relationship, how could she be heartbroken at the end? There was nothing to break. There was nothing exposed. If the heart was not open for the sword, how could the sword cut it? If it was perfectly protected, how could it be cut? If she was wearing a bulletproof vest, 3 layers deep, how could any round pierce it? That's what's occurring in these relationships. And like I said, it's men and women. It's both sides of the coin. People cope because it's easy. It's hardwired. Why do the difficult work of diving deep into the emotions that you're feeling? Why do that difficult work? It's so much harder. Survival dictates that you get back out there and you make yourself productive, or you find a mate, or you do anything you can to reproduce and make yourself valuable. Survival dictates it. Biology dictates it. The brain dictates it. The animal instinct dictates it. But in our 21st century life, we have the time and the space to do the work, yet we don't know how to. And even if we knew, many people wouldn't. Like I said, I can tell you this because I've done this work. It's taken me years to do it. But it's the most important thing I did, and that work is as follows. The first thing you must do to get over a relationship is love the person that you broke up with. You regain the love that you had for them because the love didn't go anywhere to begin with. You casted it aside. You buried it. You tried to shove it under blankets, push it under the rug, but it never went anywhere. I still love my first girlfriend. I do. I love her dearly. She was fantastic. She had so many great qualities. Her smile, her sense of humor, the way she made me feel. Everything about her was fantastic. Now, she had other bad qualities as well, but I love her nonetheless. I still do. And I always will. Because it never went anywhere. I told myself that I didn't love her anymore because, well, we weren't together. What utility does it serve me? Well, the utility is that emotionally, it's very powerful. And it's a feeling that, if cultivated properly, I can express in my art, in this video, in my writing, in my work every single day, with my family, with my friends, with strangers on the streets. That feeling never goes anywhere. I still love my first girlfriend. And more importantly, I love her for the breakup itself. In order to get over a relationship, you need to love the breakup itself. Love how it went down. Love the lessons it taught you. Love the emotions that came from it. Love the scene, replay it in your mind, and love it for what it was, a perfect piece of cinema. A perfect scene scripted by the gods on Olympus. I love it. Every single last aspect. I remember them to this day. I do. I have the snapshots. I can put myself back in my own shoes. I can see the emotions springing from her eyes as we drive in the car, discussing the fate of a relationship that wouldn't end for 2 or 3 months, but was already doomed. I can still remember it, and you can too. Love her or love him for breaking your heart. Love them because they're imperfect. They're a piece of you, and they did you a service. They allowed you to understand this life more fully. They allowed you to transcend your 2D consciousness into your 3D consciousness, and now, by loving them, into 4D consciousness, enlightenment. They gave you the ability to be enlightened, because without the breakup, you could never do it. You would always be in 2D. You'd always be in perfect love and bliss. That's the fall from grace, the fall from Eden. Without being cast out of the garden, Adam, Eve, all of the descendants, humanity at large, would never have the opportunity to learn about pain, about suffering, about hard work and toil in the fields, war, strife, disease, sin, amorality. They would never have the ability to learn all of those lessons. And also learn about love, going after love again, building a heartland, cultivating the harvest. They would never learn those lessons. Thank the person that broke up with you. Thank the relationship that failed, because it taught you everything you needed in order to enlighten yourself. And the second thing you must do to get over a breakup is this. Fully accept 2 things. First, that you can be loved again. That the breakup was not the end of your experience with love. No, this is just the beginning. This is just another stepping stone, another lily pad on the river of life. You will be loved again. You will express love again, and someone will express love to you again. It didn't go anywhere. It's all around you. What you see in the world is a reflection of your interpretation of experiences, the story that you write. I talk about this in so many videos, the story that you write. That's what you see. That's what you feel. That's what you experience. Accept that you'll be loved again. But more than that, you need to do number 2. And it's that you need to accept that you will be heartbroken again. That someone, a friend, a family member, or a romantic partner, perhaps society at large, will break your heart because they are human. They are imperfect. They do not have the ability to see all perspectives at once and weigh all consequence at the same time. And thus, they will break your heart. Someone will, whether you know them now or will come to meet them in the not so distant future. If you can accept those two things, you're now ready to get back out there. You have transcended the breakup itself. You've destroyed the coding in your mind that tells you to go to the club and pop bottles, to forget about him, forget about her. You've cut that out. You no longer have it anymore. And now that you look at it, shattered on the ground, you can see the beauty in the programming that you wrote. It served a purpose. It allowed you to perhaps get that promotion at work, have some fun nights out, experience other things, but now you don't need it anymore. It served its purpose, and now it's time for it to be cast aside, like all ideas, like all beliefs, like all philosophies, creeds, and codes. A new era has dawned, and this era will be one of love and joy and bliss, even amidst the turmoil, darkness, smoke, ash, and fire. So with that being said, if you gain value to this video, subscribe to the page, comment any thoughts you have down below, like it, because I know YouTube tends to push videos like that, and I believe people can gain value out of this. And of course, if you've gained value out of this, you probably agree with me. With that I say, God bless you. Have a fantastic evening or day, whatever time it is for you. Do not give up on love. Do not allow the programming to run your life. Instead, rewrite the programming to allow for you to transcend and thus be the love that you are meant to be.